Ladies and gentlemen, every single indictment, every single charge, the 91 or over 90 charges against Trump will be overturned in some way by the Supreme Court or by Supreme Court precedent. So, Jack Smith, the special counsel, asked if Trump could be convicted of a crime. The Supreme Court didn't even look or see that there was a crime there. They didn't even feel that the request was worthy of looking into. He hasn't been convicted of a rebellion, nor will he ever be. He wasn't even indicted for fomenting or trying to engage in a rebellion or overthrowing the government. So that's number one. He never engaged or was a part of a rebellion. Categorically false to accuse Trump of trying to overthrow the country and using the 14th Amendment. Okay? It is a stupid ploy and political stunt by Democrats who are so fearful that their foothold on power will be taken away by Trump yet again. The greatest victory for the average American of all backgrounds will be Trump regaining the Oval Office. How many friends or family members do you have who don't speak to you only because of the sin of voting for Trump? That day in November, ladies and gentlemen, will be the most amazing, beautiful, storybook, American day. One of the most in our entire lifetimes. To see Trump regain the Oval Office when every single possible advantage was utilized by the Democratic Party, including intelligence officials and social media algorithms and late-night comedians and a public relations monstrosity, the New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, the Washington Post, Vanity Fair, Esquire, Rolling Stone, all of these Vox, the publication that you're looking at right now, all of his publications. This is actually a good article. So Vox every once in a while has pretty good articles. All leveled against Trump. And he's going to regain the Oval Office because none of the criminal charges will stick. He'll be convicted likely. He'll face 1 or 2, 3 convictions. He won't get convicted in Florida. But they'll all be overturned by the Supreme Court because he did not commit the crimes he's accused of having committed. He did not. If you do the crime, then you do the time. But he didn't do the crime, so he ain't going to do any time, not even 1 second in prison or jail. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'll explain in a couple of minutes why every single one of the 91 indictments will be tossed aside by the Supreme Court of this country. To read my writing in The Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, the Jerusalem Post, the Federalist, other publications, go to hagoodman.com. The super thanks is below. Your Patreon support is so important. If you enjoy this channel, I'm going to be working very, very hard starting January 1st. We'll do a live stream every single day in January, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to do a live stream every single day in January, either in the day or in the evening. So make sure that if you enjoy the live streams, be available during the day or the evening, and we'll do, of course, uploads and the stock market crash channel and the Bitcoin crash channel. I do believe the stock market's going to crash, and I do believe we're in it for unfortunately, a terrible stock market crash, and I think it'll happen in 24. But hit subscribe to this channel. Number 1, he did not engage in a rebellion. Number 2, he was not fined by the FEC. The DNC and Clinton were fined by the FEC. So, excuse me, lingering cold. Thank God I'm feeling great. But number 2, he did not commit any FEC violations. The FEC did not fine Trump. Furthermore, the convicted felon going against him was the person who actually did pay Stormy. Okay, so number 3, he did not engage in any crimes in New York. These are misdemeanors that they had to elevate to felonies in New York. The Supreme Court will look at the obvious political bias and partisanship in Tammany Hall going up against Trump when the crimes weren't even initially they were initially misdemeanors in New York. In Fulton County, the conspirators alongside Trump, the criminal organization that he was said to have utilized to overturn results, these conspirators, if you look, quote unquote, are being given fines, probation. They're not going to prison because nobody really committed a crime. Democrats are trying to criminalize Trump, utilizing his attorneys. Republicans who had, when they say he utilized fake officials to try to deceive Pence, the electors, excuse me, what they mean is these were individuals during ongoing court cases that had to be utilized as alternatives to representatives for the eventual person who won Biden. I apologize. So that's the issue. None of the things that he's accused of doing, he actually did, because there's always missing context. For example, Alan Dershowitz and others, the Supreme Court knows very well the 14th Amendment was not meant to prevent a candidate because Democrats accuse him of doing something he didn't do. That was a terrible day, but people were let into the building also. Also, that summer, you had billions in property damage. Every single day was a mini rebellion that summer. And so while I agree with why people peacefully demonstrated, and I'm not equating the two causes or underlying reasons for demonstrating, the obvious property damage, chaos, mayhem, rebellion took place every single day that summer by left-leaning demonstrators. You have Trump one day and he's, trying to overthrow the country. Of course, that's nonsense. The Federal Bureau of Investigation found nothing. I apologize. The Federal Bureau of Investigation found nothing. No evidence Trump or allies organized rebellion. Nothing. No evidence. So Maine and Colorado, and this is going to be when it's overturned by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will then overturn every criminal conviction because they know that the Democrats are making leaps of logic. All you have to know, all you have to understand pertaining to why the Supreme Court will overturn every criminal indictment or conviction, I should say, conviction, is that the Supreme Court has already overturned criminal corruption convictions. The Virginia governor in 2016, for example, because of a boundless definition of crimes. A boundless definition of crimes. If the Federal Bureau of Investigation found no evidence that Trump organized any mayhem, then how do you make the absurd, stupid leap of logic that Trump tried to foment a rebellion? Everyone on the planet knows the contempt and disdain, the apoplectic dislike Democrats have for Trump. It's not like people don't understand this, and they don't see that they make a stupid leap of logic. When you say something in life, you have to back it up. It has to actually be rational and logical. If you're saying that Trump tried to overthrow the country with only Trump supporters losing their lives and virtually nobody armed, and with people being allowed into the building with doors open, while the entire summer you saw left-leaning demonstrators wreak havoc on the country throughout the country, you have to look and say, okay, fiery but mostly peaceful, says CNN, but they didn't say that with Trump. Okay, that's why 70% of Americans do not trust media, because they look and they say the double standard is unbelievable. If you don't like Trump, just say you don't like him and leave it at that. Don't make stupid claims that are completely absurd without any basis in reality. One lawyer says, in addition to Alan Dershowitz and others, it'll be a unanimous decision. So once he gets that decision, the ball will be rolling for future decisions. The Supreme Court knows very well it's conservative Supreme Court anyway. It's a 6-3 conservative Supreme Court anyway. Even with Roberts, you still have 5-4. So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the comment section. But anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now. Trump will not even spend 1 second in jail or prison. He'll regain the Oval Office. Unfortunately, we'll have a stock market crash, Bitcoin crash as well. I have 2 channels. Subscribe to those. The stock market crash channel, the Bitcoin crash channel. And God bless you all. Stay safe. Stay safe, ladies and gentlemen. Stay at home with your families, or if you're out, be careful on the roads, because the roads can be dangerous on New Year's. And this 2024, take care of yourself. Focus on happiness, your life. Don't worry about what anyone thinks of you. And just focus on happiness and the future. The future is bright. The future is bright and positive for this country and for your life. And I do think that Trump will regain the Oval Office. And I think that the current Democratic Party will have to be very different in years to come, because the entire planet knows they've crossed the Rubicon into madness. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now.